Welcome. Let's talk about Justice Pankaj Mittal, who has made remarks in court. He was suggesting that the day reservation benefits should not continue indefinitely within the family, with the same family, and ideally want to say that only one generation has allowed and become socially and economically established, and subsequent generations need not to give reservations because they will not be having same level of discrimination. So the affirmative program should continue with only one generation. He means to say that the reservation should be continued only to one generation, but not to the subsequent coming generations. This is exactly Justice Pankaj Mittal said. What was his argument? His argument was that reservations are meant to uplift disadvantaged families. Disadvantaged families of what? Financial disadvantage, social disadvantage, educational disadvantage. What disadvantage the reservations are given? If one generation has received education and government employment through reservation and achieved social mobility, the next generation may not face the same level of disadvantage. Reservations benefit should ideally reach families that has never beneficial before. Otherwise, the same families may repeatedly receive benefits while many marginalized families remain excluded. This is exactly his argument. Obviously, this is not only his argument, this is social media argument, especially from Hindutva organizations and all. From many days they are arguing this, that once their social mobility happens, then they should not be given reservations anymore. But basically, fundamentally, the Constitution recognized social discrimination, not poverty. They need to understand that the Constitution of India recognized for reservations social discrimination, not poverty, like untouchability. See, they need to segregate. There are four reservation categories now. One is SC reservation, ST reservation, BC reservation, OBC reservation, EWS reservation. If you look at SC reservation, that is for untouchability, caste-based exclusion, denial of education, hereditary occupations, social stigma, and exclusion from public institutions and all. These are all the reasons for SC reservations. For ST reservations, they're away from the social mainline society and they want to bring them inside the society. Yeah, BC reservations, they are historically backward communities, like financially backward, socially backward communities. But they don't have any untouchability and all. BC communities, they don't have untouchability and all these things they don't have. EWS reservations are purely economic reservations. They will not have any social stigma, social untouchability will not be there for OCs, but financially poor. EWS reservation. So the first, fundamentally, these people actually, whoever are all these people talking, they are looking at in the single Brahminical eye. Why I am saying the Brahminical eye? For a Brahmin, everyone is a Sudra. It doesn't matter SC, ST, BC, like so many. There are only 4 Varnas: Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Sudra. So other than Brahmin, Kshatriya and Vaishya, other than these 3 communities, remaining all Sudras for a Brahmin. So they are looking at the Brahminical eye to the entire communities. They are mixing SC, ST, BC in a single group. That is where actually the entire, this confusion is coming. These arguments are coming that the one generation should get only one reservation and all. They should segregate SC, ST, BC and they look at them in the different aspects. Look at the scheduled tribes in a different aspect, scheduled backward communities in a different aspect, and scheduled castes in a different aspect. That's what I said, that the Brahminical eye is that all these people are same in front of them. So here, if they bring this kind of arguments, there is something called untouchability. Anyway, untouchability is banned. Article 17, according to Article 17, untouchability is banned. But caste-based exclusion is still there. Caste-based exclusion even till today is there. Whoever, say if someone got good job and there was a social mobility, someone became a collector, social mobility, but he wants to build a house in the village. Of course, forget about Madras, Hyderabad, Mumbai, Delhi, Chennai, Bangalore. Forget about all these metro cities. Let's assume, a collector or a high profile employee, he wants to build his house in a village where he was born. Where he has to build the house? Will he be allowed to build the houses in the dominant society because he is a collector, scheduled caste collector? He's a scheduled caste collector. He wants to build his house in his own village. Will he be allowed to build his house among the dominant societies? Even till today, not allowed. So that is what actually the constitution recognized, that social exclusion, not the money, poverty. These people missed that. That's what I'm saying. They all are looking at the Brahminical eye. They, according to them, even all this dominant society, and they are same for them. But in fact, ground reality is different. The dominant society show discrimination on scheduled caste. Even backward communities show discrimination on the scheduled caste. Even SC/STs, they don't have collaboration. All this social exclusion, they don't want. They look at in the single eye. Denial of education, of course. Now everybody is given opportunity to study, that they may cross. Hereditary occupations are still continuing. This is another issue. Social stigma is still continuing. Exclusion from public institutions still continuing in the villages, like they are not allowed to drink water in the wells and all. So then from where these people are getting these kind of arguments that only one generation should get the reservations, the other should not get? Are you showing discrimination and social stigma and social untouchability, social exclusion only for one generation? Are you doing that because you did to his father? Are you sparing his son? Because you are doing to his son, will you spare this next generation? You are continuing to showing discrimination on the generations to generations, but reservation should be given only one generation. Why? Right? So surname, community, marriage networks, village identity, social interactions are still restricted to within the castes and communities. And then why? How can you come to that arguments about the reservations? That something is wrong with all this kind of people. That's what they all are looking in the Brahminical eye, not their understanding exactly nature of the Indian society. Discrimination continues across generations. Housing, the same. His father, his son, his grandchildren, the housing will be done only within the communities. They're not allowed to go and build the houses near in a dominant society. In villages, at least we are talking about villages. Anyway, metro cities, there will be no caste-based divisions. Housing will not be done based on caste in metro cities like Bombay, Chennai, Bangalore, but the majority, 75% people are in villages. The marriage has to be done only within their caste, right? So same way, like education, employment, somewhat they crossed because there were reservations. Now you want to remove that reservation now. Because of reservations, education and employment, somewhat they could be able to achieve. That reservation you want to remove now. And again, they'll go back to the way. Access to temple, still there is a problem. Social exclusion, still there is a problem. Violence against Dalits, still continuing. Then what kind of arguments are coming from here? Article 17, they abolished only untouchability, not the caste discrimination. Article 17, they said untouchability is a crime. But the Article 17, they I wish this was also they should have been added this also, like caste discrimination they should have added, but they were only the untouchability was added to the Article 17. So they say that untouchability is crime, but caste discrimination is continuing across the religion, across the globe, in country, because there's no big crime for Article 15.4, 16.4, 46, 338. These are all acknowledging social disadvantage, and that's why they given the reservation system. Because untouchability is banned, that doesn't mean that the caste discrimination is not happening, because it's continuing. This is where exactly we need to understand. Reservations are actually representation. It's not welfare. They need to understand that reservation is not the welfare, it is a representation. From that community also, you should have reservation. That Supreme Court has repeatedly explained that reservations also serve the goal of ensuring adequate representation in public institutions. You are only talking about money, poverty, and no, representation. Different groups, from every group, you should have representatives. So Supreme Court many times said that they are representatives from that particular community. So you cannot exclude them. Social mobility does not eliminate caste identity. Social mobility, a doctor, engineer, or civil servant from a scheduled caste, he will not cease to forego his caste identity. Caste-based insults, discrimination in marriage, housing bias, workplace prejudice, social exclusion still will be continued. Even a doctor has to marry his own scheduled caste doctor, or a backward community should only, a Brahmin doctor will marry only another Brahmin woman doctor. So this is continuing. When this is continuing, then what kind of arguments this justice, honorable justice, different justice, not only Justice Pankaj, but many arguments are coming in this angle. One generation cannot undo centuries of exclusion. Education, land ownership, temples, administration, political power, economic opportunities, these are all were the issues. They will not restrict it to one generation. It will continue to the generation to generation. So, uneducated Dalits also reported discrimination. The educated Dalits also, they're reporting, they're confirming that they're undergoing the discrimination in workplace discrimination, social exclusion, biased evaluations, and stigma related cases still going on. When these are all going on, then what argument are these people are doing about that only one generation should get reservations, not the other reservation? Already not found suitable scam is going on. When you are giving jobs to all these alighted like IAS engineer, group 1 officers, children also are included, still you are saying that not found. Then if you exclude them, if you are only looking for the down marginalized first generation poor people, then not found will be 90%. Now only not found 80%, you are saying that. Then it will be 100% not found, and then it will be diverted to general category. This it leads to a kind of scam again. So Honorable Justice Mittal's concern, somewhat we agree his arguments, but this also need to understand that some SC families have benefited repeatedly over multiple generations. That was the argument of Mittalji, Justice Mittal. Many remote and poor SC families, they have never accessed reservation benefits. So reservation benefits should reach the most deprived first. Internal inequalities within scheduled castes are, this is okay, fine. His argument was fine. Honorable Justice Mittal's argument is fine. But the suggestion of removing the reservation is not fine. Priority should be given to the first generation, that is okay. Priority in the order of preference, the first generation should get the first job. If he is not available, the second person should be given the normal person, but it should not evade the reservation system. So one generation idea, first of all, it's not constitutional. Secondly, scheduled caste, especially forget about ST and BC, but a scheduled caste status is determined by birth and the presidential list under Article 341, not by whether parent obtained a government job or not. Okay, Parliament has not enacted any new law reservation eligibility after one generation, and any such restrictions would require careful constitutional jurisdiction and could face challenge even after in the courts. So this argument the judges need to understand. Earlier, Justice B.R. Gawai, he said the creamy layer should be there among SC/STs. This creamy layer should be, if not found from the non-creamy, then it should go to the creamy layer. You should not divert the general category. So this creamy layer also will lead to one kind of scam. That's what I said, not found suitable. Now only so many people are saying that not found suitable. So many university professors, they're not found suitable. So university professors not found suitable, so they're diverting to the general category in the name of contract, whatever it may be. So the jobs are going to the other people. Justice Vikram Nath, he also supported B.R. Gavai earlier. Now the Pankaj Mittal is talking about only one generation. And earlier Justice Satish Chandra Sharma also he said that SC/ST communities have constitutional priority within the creamy layer concept. That's what actually different judges were talking about. Ultimately, all these people need to understand is that money is not the criteria here. Social mobility is not the criteria here. Continuation of the social exclusion, continuation of the discrimination, continuation of the that kind of mindset of the dominant society. As long as the dominant society continues the same kind of mindset, and these people should be provided reservations. Otherwise, and again, it will lead to the same Manuvadik period. That's what I want to say. Thank you, Namaste.